Well, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for your attendance today for what is a terrific announcement for the Fremantle Football Club. We're delighted, after what has been a thorough and comprehensive selection process, to have secured a person of Justin Longmuir's capability, and calibre, to be the next senior coach of the Fremantle Dockers. Given the high quality of the final candidates, we were very particular to ensure that we made a very considered decision. Justin stood out for us as someone who has been preparing for this role over the last 10 years. Justin's had a successful career as an assistant coach at both West Coast and more recently at Collingwood. He knows what's required to win and what's required for sustained success. Justin not only has a great knowledge of the game, but most importantly as a person, he is someone who is absolutely genuine and driven to get our players to be the best that they can be. On behalf of the board, staff, players, members and supporters, we welcome Justin and his family back to Fremantle and look forward to exciting times ahead together. I'll now call on Justin, who will make a brief statement before we take some questions. Over to you, Justin.
Thanks, Dale. Firstly, I'd like to thank the Fremantle Football Club for this opportunity. To Dale and the board, I thank you for entrusting me with the responsibility to lead this club into the future. This is an opportunity that I've been working towards since I left the football club. I'd like to thank Collingwood and West Coast Eagles football clubs for providing opportunities for me to grow and develop as a person and as a coach. Both clubs have been people-first clubs, and that's something that resonates with my values. To all the people within both those clubs, too many to mention here, thank you for helping me be the best I can be. To my wife, Melissa, we wouldn't be in this position now without you being the rock for our family. To Zach and Ava, I'm sorry for making you barrack for a third football club in 2.5 years. Thank you both and all for the sacrifices you have made and for giving things a go. I'm looking forward to getting to know the staff here at the club and creating an environment where our players can be the best they can be. To the fans, the overriding feeling that you gave me as a player is of how passionate you are. That's the one word that resonates with me when I think of the Fremantle Football Club. It's that we're a passionate football club. Finally, to the players, I look forward to getting to know you, understand what motivates you, and working with you, so that as a collective we can compete the best we can. You are the ones in control of your own destiny. The decisions you make today will lead to the opportunities that you get tomorrow. As a wise man once said, that what you get in life is earned. So let's get to work and make Fremantle a great club. Thank you. Any questions? Or was that it? To be honest, Mark, I decided probably a long time ago. It's something that's always been in a goal of mine since I retired from the game and took up coaching. But having said that, it's always been in the background. I'm a very process-orientated guy, and I've just tried to be the best I can be at every opportunity that the clubs that I've been at have given me. So I've been trying to get as much experience in as many different roles at as many different clubs as I can, looking for this opportunity, and I'm grateful that this opportunity has come up at this time.
Dale and Peter, why is it Justin and not someone else?
Mark, we went through a very thorough process really over the last 4 weeks, and strong list of candidates, and we got down to a short list, and Justin really just stood out to us. And I think, as I commented before, it's really been 10 years in the making with that prior experience, and I guess starting off with playing at Fremantle. But the Fremantle component's really a bonus. I think we've got a really genuine person who really wants the players to be the best that they can be, and doing everything around taking that on board for the future. So he was a standout for us.
As far as the person himself, how important was it getting a guy of high character to sell some faith to the fan base, especially after a down in membership last season?
Yeah, look, the critical thing is that through a thorough process that we've arrived at someone who's not only got the football smarts that we require, but is a genuine character and is someone who's really going to mould the team and take them forward to future success. And I think what I'm hearing very early on from Justin is about our players being the best that they can be, both on and off field.
Is it always going to be someone with a Freo history or a link to the club already? A lot of the guys that were mentioned or rumoured had that sort of link as well?
No, we went through a very thorough process, and I think probably most footy experts could work out the long list. That wouldn't be that difficult, but we really went through, as I say, a comprehensive process. There was a lot of external noise, and that's fine. There's a lot of interest externally in the role, but we went through a very considered process over the last 4 weeks to hone it down. And as I say, we've got the best person, the best coach through that process. The fact that Justin has been a Fremantle person and Melissa, Justin, Ava and Zach are from WA, that's a bonus.
Justin, have you had a chance to address the playing group yet?
No, not yet, no.
What will your message be when that happens?
Well, along the lines that Dale spoke about, I want our players to be self-motivated so that they can get the best out of their abilities. A lot comes with self-motivation, but I want our coaches to guide our players, not hold their hands, and I want them to be motivated to not only be the best themselves, but help their teammates achieve the things that they want to achieve out of their careers.
Watching from the sidelines, what do you think's gone wrong over the last 4 years, not playing finals at this club?
Oh, yeah, it's hard to. I wouldn't put it as going wrong. I think the club has been in a developing phase where, if you look at the dynamics of our list, it is inexperienced and it is young. And I'm a true believer that our great improvement will come from that core of young players pushing each other and coming through together.
So is it still in a development phase in your assessment?
Oh, to be honest, we'll always be in a development phase. We'll always be looking at as a football club under me to evolve and develop, whether that's list, style of play, skill development. We'll always be looking to evolve as a footy team.
In particular, when you look at that list, what excites you the most?
Oh, there's a number of things. We've got a bloke on our list who just won his second Brownlow, so I think the core of our midfield is there. And what the other thing that excites me about the list is both ends. I think we've got some really really good key position players. Obviously, we need to see them out there a little bit more and get games into them, but I think our tall stocks are really good.
Having to retire at the age of 26, how did that shape you as a person and fuel your desire to become a coach?
Yeah, well, it's added to the way I go about my coaching. It's helped me have empathy for what players are going through, especially in the rehab situation, which can be really draining mentally and physically. So, it's one of many experiences, I would say, that has developed me to be the coach and person I am now, but it has played a role, yeah.
And you said you had unfinished business. Did you feel that straight away when you left the club?
Well, when a club gives you an opportunity and your first opportunity at something like the Fremantle Football Club did it gave me an opportunity as a player 21 years ago. They put a lot of faith in a skinny kid from the country and drafted me. I don't feel like I fulfilled that faith that they showed. So to get another opportunity to fulfil that faith is really exciting and something I'm just absolutely looking forward to.
Would improvement be achievable immediately, or are you going to take some time?
Well, I would imagine that will take a little bit of time to get used to new processes, new training habits, new style of play. So I would expect our players to pick that up over the pre-season. I want our coaches to be really strong educators so that we can make that happen as quick as we can. And I'll put no time limit, no cap on what we can achieve, but like Dale mentioned before, I want this football club to be great for a long period of time.
What's the style of play now? What's the ideal style of play under you?
I'm not going to reflect on what it was, but all I can say, and I don't want to say a heap, is that I strongly believe the game starts at the contest. So I want to be a really strong contested ball team. And we need to find a balance in our offence and defence. That's probably all I can say at the moment, all I want to say, but we'll put a lot of work into that over the pre-season, and as I said, the coaches will educate our players to reflect the style of play we want, and hopefully they pick it up quickly.
What about moving back to WA, bringing your family back home? What challenges does that bring? Excited?
Oh, it's just excited. Like, it's the overwhelming emotion at the moment. They gave up a lot to move to Melbourne. It was a big commitment, something that I felt was really strong, which I needed to do to develop me further as a coach. But to come home to friends, family, and to a football club that we know is really exciting.
Previously, under Ross Lyon, there's been some criticism saying it's too defensive a style. When you talk about balance between offence and defence, do you think you can help with that balance?
Look, I've under my apprenticeship as a coach, I've looked after both areas, and one of my philosophies or beliefs as a coach is that the two complement each other, so they're not mutually exclusive. So we'll be talking a lot about how our offence complements our defence and vice versa. So I want to be both. I want to be great at both. I want to defend really well and attack really well. Where we strike that balance will, that'll show in the future.
How much will you be involved in the player person inside through this group now that you've been announced? Because obviously we're heading to the trade period and trying to retain some senior talented players is really crucial.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something that we'll sit down as a list management committee and talk through in the coming days. We've had some brief discussions, but that's all they've been at the moment. We need to come up with a strategy along with Peter Bell and our list management committee and really be strong in the trade period.
Did you have a sense of Justin become a senior coach back in the day when playing days and whatnot?
Yeah, certainly towards the end of Justin's career, and obviously the injuries played their role in shortening that career. He always struck me as a really considered and thoughtful person, and had some strong views and philosophies on football. And then from afar, just watching his development and clearly how much he wanted to continue to improve to get this opportunity was something that I think the whole football world noticed. And he's spoken about showing the initiative and going through the tough times to go to Melbourne, to a great club like the Collingwood Football Club, to improve his coaching abilities, and a long time at West Coast as well as Fremantle. So thinking back to those years when he was a teammate, when you reflect on it, you could see that there was a coach in there.
And Justin, in terms of coaching influences, who's had the biggest impact on you?
Well, I've had so many. The two guys that I will single out is Phil Walsh and Neil Danaher, and purely because they showed enormous faith in me as a young coach. And to have that support as a young coach and that confidence from two very senior figures in the game was a great shot in the arm for me as a young coach. So those two guys are I'll be ever indebted to the Walsh family and Neil and his family as well. Obviously, the senior coaches that you coach under, but also there's so many people that you learn from in footy and outside footy, and I've tried to connect and mould myself in as many of those influences as I can.
Justin, would you choose your own assistants?
Oh, look, there's opportunity to bring in some new assistants. I'll sit down with Peter over the next week and have a look at our coaching structure. But probably where my where I sit at the moment is that I want to get to know our current coaches, and I want to get to understand their strengths and put them in roles that best allows them to bring their strengths to the table.
Alcock and Josh Carr, are those people you'd like to work with?
Oh, well, yeah, I'm not going to get into names and mention any names at the moment. Well, I've got a long list of people that I've worked with throughout the industry, and we'll be looking to add to our coaching staff.
Can the Dockers play finals next year?
Oh, I don't really want to get into forecasting because there's so much water to go under the bridge. What I want to do is get past today and get to work. Put the processes and systems and structures in place so that our players can have a mindset that they improve every day of pre-season. Where that takes us next year, I'm not going to put a cap on it. I'm not going to put a ceiling on it. So that'll look after itself if we get the processes right.
Peter, is that one of Justin's KPIs to make finals next year?
No, the KPIs are in place exactly as Justin has stated, and we want to support him to continue to grow the football club. We've spoken about it being a younger list somewhat, so we want them to come to work, to ready to improve, and they're the KPIs that we'll put in place for Justin.
Is Tim Kelly a player you'd like to coach?
Well, like I said before, we'll sit down as a match committee and work through that. Two things I will say about Tim Kelly, and I don't know him as a person, but I love the way he plays, and I love his value set. He's a family-first person, and that's what we're going to try and build here at the Fremantle Football Club.
How important is it trying
Is that a possibility?
Look, it's a difficult situation. Obviously, we all admire Tim for his performances over the past couple of years, and there's clearly was a lot of noise around last year on his wish to get back to Western Australia, and there still remains a lot of noise for this year as well. So we'll just monitor the situation, and we hope that we're a viable option for Tim and his partner Caitlin and the extended families, but we'll get into that during the trade week.
Justin, are you the man to lead Freo to their first premiership?
Well, that's a good one. I'm in it to win premierships. This is every club is in it to achieve the ultimate success, but I won't do that by giving up sustained success. I want this footy club to be great for a long period of time. So everything we do over the next trade period, over the next pre-season, over the next season will be aimed at building this club to be great for a long period of time.
Kelly, is Don Clark the person who will speak to about a role here sometime in the future?
Look, Don's clearly an experienced coach, a great strategist. There is a long list of people that we'll be talking to. Now, some of those people that you talk to, it eventuates into something. With many conversations, it doesn't work out for a myriad of different reasons. We won't go into individuals at this stage, but we're all about developing and getting better as a football club.
Would there be extra consideration for a senior assistant, given Justin's first time in the full competition?
Yeah, look, you can certainly see a strong side to that argument, but it's about the fit and who's available, and certainly also perhaps reallocating some of our existing coaches and allowing them to flourish as well. So it's a combined package.
How far off is the decision for a CEO?
Yeah, maybe
question
Jess,
for
if
Dale.
I answer that one. We're going well. Clearly our priority was set on selection of senior coach, and we said if we were able to wave a magic wand, when would we like it done by, and that was by trade period. So we've certainly met that objective, which was our first objective. But at the same time, we're running parallel on selection for CEO. So we're through the long list, and we're into starting interviewing of a short list later this week. So by the end of the month, we're hopeful that we'll have an announcement on CEO for Fremantle.
Is Mark Brayshaw among the contenders there?
Sorry, I'm not going to sort of comment, as I haven't done, on the senior coach selection of any potential candidate.
Peter, did you put your hat in the ring for the CEO job?
Well, probably going against what you've just said there, Dale, but just for clarity, I'm absolutely committed and excited to be General Manager of Football at Fremantle. I've learned a lot in the past 11 months. I've got a lot more to learn, and for that reason I didn't apply for the CEO position.
Justin, the work-life balance that some coaches struggle with that, especially in the first few years. What have you learned just by looking at some of the other coaches, and how do you plan to have that balance?
Yeah, well, it is really important. And the one thing I will say is that probably work-life balance is not overly achievable as a senior coach, but one thing that is achievable is making sure your priorities are right. And I'll make sure that my priorities align with my family, work, and rest. So, I think it's too hard to say, I want to have a great work-life balance, because I know the enormity of the job, but I just need to get my priorities right.
And you mentioned your kids back to support 3 different teams now in the space of 3 years. How happy are you that now it's Fremantle?
Yeah, well, I think Ava wasn't around when I played and finished up at Fremantle, but Zach was, so he's done a full 360 degree. Now he's back to where he started supporting. My kids have just been really supportive of everywhere I've coached, and that'll continue, and I'm just really appreciative of that support, because it's so important that you've got a strong family when you're a coach and when you're trying to achieve the things I'm trying to achieve.
Justin, where would you sit on Brad Hill, whose contracted that was expressed?
Well, it's not for me to talk about now. It's something that we need to formulate a decision around what we do there in the coming days. And well, I don't know whether Peter's got anything to add, but it's never great to see talent leave the doors. So that's probably where I sit.
Justin, I'm returning to a club where you played and have a good reputation. Does it bring extra pressure? And did you talk to Nathan about what it's like to put that reputation on the line as a senior coach of that club?
No, I haven't spoken to Nathan about it because I didn't want to put the cart before the horse, and I've only told Collingwood about it over the last couple of days. So it's a conversation that I'll take up with him. To be honest, I'll have conversations with a lot of people about the best way to handle this situation. In the end, I'll do it my way, but I'll be grateful for any expertise that they can show me.
Was there any hesitation on your part in putting that reputation on the line as head coach?
No, there wasn't. This opportunity really excited me from the moment it became available, and it's been something that I've been working towards for since I finished 11, 12 years ago. So I'm just really excited. Like I said, get today over and done with, get the cameras out of my face and get to work.
Peter, at the whole footy world's been talking about Marlon Pickett the last couple of days. Was he ever on the radar for Freo?
Yeah, look, he was on the radar, and it's a fantastic story. And I think Marlon's success on the weekend really illustrates clearly that he has great talent, but that also Richmond was the perfect place for him. I was lucky enough to be in the crowd and watching him strut his stuff. I'd seen a lot of him at South Fremantle, but I'm just thrilled that he got this opportunity, and hopefully he can continue to build out his career. But he's a really exciting player, clearly.
Justin, you don't want to put pressure on yourself by promising the fans a finals berth, but what is your message? What's your pitch to the Freo fans, some of whom may have dropped off over the past few seasons? My pitch to them is that we will play competitive, balanced football, and I suppose my broader message is that we're all in this together. Like I said at the start, if you ask me what the Fremantle Football Club stands for, it's the passion of the fans. So that passion of the fans used to drive me as a player, used to drive us as a player, 15 years ago, and it still drives our players now. I don't think there's a more passionate fan base in the comp. So my message to them is that we're all in it together. We need their support. And I'm really excited about evolving our brand of footy and giving them something to cheer for.
Stephen Hill and Sonny Walters were having a bit of a kick. Did you cross paths with them on the IB scene, Richard?
Yeah, I did, and I told them it was a smart move to come for a run when the senior coach gets appointed. So they'll be in the starting team come round one next year. Just two quality people. I was actually working in recruiting at the football club when we drafted them, and their personalities haven't changed. Hilly's quiet, and Sun's loud and boisterous. So it was good to see them, and good to see them working hard during their break.
Did you give any tips for your first season, Mike Walters?
Yeah, he did. He gave me a few tips. Told me he wanted to play in the midfield. So he's not backward in coming forward.
Justin, Jack took to Twitter to say congratulations on the role. What does it mean to get those messages of support from former players?
Yeah, well, I've got about 150 messages to get to after this and tonight. But, the one thing that drives me as a coach is to help players achieve what they want to achieve out of their football careers. If I can play a part in that, it just gives me a great buzz and a great feeling to be able to help young men achieve. So, I've had an impact on Crispy's development, like he's had an impact on my coaching. So, I look forward to having that impact on the Fremantle players.
Okay, all right. We'll shoot outside and get some.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.